Hello and welcome to another Aria of Sorrow Randomizer tournament match as part of SpeedGaming Live 2022. From Smile on tracking, we've got Lunix tonight helping me out to bring to you this best of three in the what I believe is the losers semifinals between Berix and Halgorithm. From the start, it looks like we have a Scimitar. There's a live attain in the shop, but it's kind of expensive. Sold off the starting war fatigues as well. The hammer shop is available from the start. It's got 10 random items in it. Half of them are souls. Looks like Halgorithm bought some grapes and Berix is grabbing an Olrox's suit. There's a number up to next to the right of their HP and MP. That is the countdown mechanic of this randomizer. There are a certain number of progression-related checks, which will all be either in soul canisters that spin around and flash a little bit, as we'll see, or they are also looking for 3 ancient books, and that's what's counted in the countdown. Alright, there's Black Panther. This is a Black Panther first preset. It lets you go really fast. So, everybody going really fast is a nice thing to have. Looks like our area over to the left is the slide lock side of Dance Hall, and we can't get into the ceiling right now. So we'll have to come back for that later. So there are 5 potentially important things in the castle corridor, and I say potentially because one of the main goals of this randomizer is to find the 3 souls that you need to become Dracula. And since this is a randomizer, the 3 that you need are randomized. But we couldn't just place those 3 souls around the castle and then those would be the only ones you pick up. So there are decoys around, and the countdown counts the decoys. So that's important to keep in mind. That's why I say only potentially progression important items. The 3 souls that they need will be told to them by the ancient books located around the castle. There's a guaranteed copy of each book for each of the 3 soul types that they will need. And there could be a second one as well. And looks like there is a Manticore on the way up. So that is a rush soul, which allows you to access one of the doors in the game, but is also just a very powerful offensive option. Most of the blue souls you use by holding R and they do something. The rush souls all are dash attacks with quite large hitboxes that do a lot of damage based on your intelligence. So 4 more things left in here. We don't have a source of like any extra jump, so they're kind of pigeonholed into just continuing through the castle. It looks like Berix has found a gun. The handgun is not very good, but if he's using it, it may be the silver gun. And Halgorithm has gotten a second rush soul, Curly. Now that's not a lot of damage. I think Berix is using the handgun. Okay, so Hippogriff at the end of the castle corridor is big for Halgorithm, and Berix could be getting it shortly as well. That is a high height soul. You just press L and your head goes sailing straight toward the ceiling. So they can go anywhere upward that their heart desires now. There's one other big thing that we're looking for to be able to get around the castle more easily, and that is Skula, which is the underwater walking soul. There are 2 copies of that in the castle, so... Oh, there it is, in Chapel. It's a vanilla entrance to Chapel today. So now they will be able to go through any water that they will find around. And at this point, the only worry is that they would have to slide anywhere, including into that first dance hall area that we saw. There's a tiny gap immediately to the left of where we saw, and that's why they can't go any further in that area. So they would either need the slide item or a giant bat to become one tile tall to fit through there. Algorithm's fighting Manticore with the scimitar. This is, it's a boss, and there are some bosses that are swapped around, but Manticore is not one of them, just because of the uniqueness of this room. And there's an item at the top. It's just a high mind up. So their number is down to 0, so they won't find anything super important, but doing extra checks can be useful for just anything else that you would find on the floor, weapon or equipment-wise, or picking up consumable HP healing items is always nice. There is a risk that you run of not doing too many of those checks, and that's you end up with not very good stuff to use in the back half of the seed, which is all combat. So they picked up the Gremlin Soul. That just increases luck. It's not like progression on its own, but it could be a required soul. Some people have gotten pretty good at just remembering what they've picked up on the floor in their mind. It looks like we have some great healing options in the shop, by the way. They're both going for the Livatane, which is a very good fire sword. Healing is not always guaranteed to be in the shop, and so when it's there and it's cheap, it tends to be pretty nice. They're both gonna go back in the chapel and check this bottom door. And at least a floating garden. So this is an area we need to remember the location of to beat the game, and it being in chapel is pretty nice. That's a blue book on the ledge in this first room. It's Manticore from Archdemon, so they both have that. They got it on their way up through the castle. The soul they need, told to them by that book, is Manticore, and if they wanted, they could farm it off Archdemons, which is a terrible idea. There's not really a convenient place to farm Archdemons, and they are a little more tanky than is reasonable. And double jump for Berix, so we didn't end up going without it for too long. Not a Malthus-less seed. Not having double jump can mess people up so badly, because you get it so early into the vanilla game and in several seeds as well that you're just kind of used to using it for movement. And it looks like our other entrance of garden is the Forbidden Area dead end. We can't get in there because of that switch on the left side. You have to hit it from the other side to open that steel wall. So they will both have to backtrack out of here and try a different door off the castle corridor. Looks like Berix is going to walk all the way out of chapel, and halgorithm might do the same, and they'll check the flight lock doors at the end of castle corridor first. There is one, the first one on the way here usually leads to Clock Tower. And today it's the Underground Cemetery. There's only 4 items in here, only one of them is important today, but there is a boss. It is one of the random boss spots. There's one item before the boss. Berix is going to see what it is. And Halgoritm's also coming in here. The one item is the Skull Million Soul. So they can just get out of here if they want. Yeah, Berix is leaving. Both heading out, gonna go to the vanilla top floor door next. That leads to the arena, so these are both areas they've encountered that don't have another exit out of them. So it seems like all the extra area entrances are probably more toward the beginning of the game. Two things in Arena we've seen that one is the Werewolf Soul. Could be her required red soul, we don't know yet. Berix gets the Bird Gang out of the Fountain Room, and that is a Death's Robe on the ledge past the Red Minotaur Room. That is good enough armor that one of them may go in for it. Halgorithm is actually leaving Arena. Did tag the warp, so it can come back at any time, but gonna go check more areas. There's a number of checks in Arena that are pretty tough to do, and without Slide or Bat, can't full clear it right now. It's possible that this could work out for Berix if he finds the one remaining item in here, though. Halgorithm finds Study, which has another exit, but we don't actually have a way of taking that other exit because it is also slide locked. The boss of Arena is Headhunter. This is not too bad of a fight to see. This is normally the 5th boss of the game. And in both the vanilla game and the randomizer, Headhunter unlocks more shop items from Hammer for you. So this can be a valuable fight to do. Headhunter has 3 phases. The lizard phase is the most dangerous because of poison, which reduces your stats for a certain amount of time. But didn't even get a chance to spit the poison, and the soul is behind Headhunter in its final guard. So that can be useful for just trying to time taking a hit. You can activate Final Guard, and you just guard against the hit instead of taking damage. It does take a lot of MP, which is why you have to time it, though. And in the backdash room of Study is Slide. So, Halgorithm can actually leave this area out of the slide door. Nothing left in Study, but there is a rare ring, which you can equip to try to get more enemy drops in their rare item slot. And Giant Bat is behind the waterfall, which is on the other side of Study. So, yeah, our being too tall problem has resolved itself pretty nicely. And that's a claim. That's a claim. That's the best weapon in the game. It's a claim seed. The Claim Solace is a holy elemental sword that auto-cancels. You can just jump and swing it, and your landing cancels the, delay frames of the sword swing. And that's valuable where you have other weapons which are heavier and you can't jump cancel them, but you may be able to backdash cancel them. That's a yellow book in the slime spot. Berix is going after the last item in Castle Corridor, and it's the Fish Head Red Soul, which may help him out with getting some other soul canisters. So you saw him trying to hit that soul candle through the wall. That is something you can do for the candles, but not for any other items. Alright, they've both found the left side of inner quarters. Now, I don't believe they have a way of stopping time. And the boss here is Balor. Balor is usually the last boss that you face before going on the final boss sequence. And Berix does have a Livatane and a Khalid Bulb, so this won't be too bad of a fight. We'll be able to deal decent damage to this highly defensive first eye. But I think the Claim may do a little bit better. Got simultaneous Balor fights. The Claim has an enormous hitbox. Berix is finished with the first eye. Over to the second one, which launches this laser that has trailing fire. The laser itself doesn't hurt, you gotta watch out for the fire. But that eye has no defense, so able to take it down a little more quickly. Balor's soul drop is Zombie. Which all Zombie really does is boost your stats while you're poisoned. Well, the one leftover item is not in the Stormy Tower today. There's only one more accessible item right now, and it's down below them. But there are 2 doors out of here on the right side. Nope, that's just a scarf, so it seems like our last item in here is going to be behind some kind of time-stopping. I think Berix might have been checking to make sure he had Skula before trying to go in this side of Clock Tower, which is blocked off by this water. Yeah, making sure he had Skula on. 3 things in here. They're both going to the left side first, and Backdash is in it. So we've already seen what the one Backdash locked check in the game was, and that was Slide. So that was somewhat important. Book 1 says Fish Head from Zombie, so that's on the Castle Quarter ledge that usually leads up to Dance Hall. And that's an easy spot to forget about, but won't be too bad to farm zombies. The required souls, if you want to farm them, they do get a little boost to their drop rate. There's one thing left in here, and it's looking like it might be... Well, there's one more item down here. Okay, yeah, it's guarded by the Lightning Doll. Is Kicker Skeleton. Kicker Skeleton is... Well, hold on, we've got book 3. It's Gargoyle from Nemesis. Looks like no Gargoyle on Halgorithm side just yet. I think Berix might have Gargoyle. I think he might have picked it up in Arena. And Nemesis, if you would like to farm a Nemesis, is a somewhat invisible enemy that just appears as a sword. You can find a couple of them in Dance Hall or Inner Quarters. There's a decent spot next to the Dance Hall Warp to try to farm a Nemesis if you have any kind of overhead weapon, like the Claim. And Halgorithm has found Top Floor, leading off of the Reservoir. Top Floor is another important area to find, because it's got the first of the bosses to start off the endgame, Graham. But it's also got 3 checks in it, which is pretty important for our purposes. And Berix should be getting the yellow book before too long, I would think. Yeah, he's seen the book, he's gonna go get that. Algorithm finds the second copy of Skula all the way top as the courtesy check before Graham. Is Hal go mode? So he doesn't appear to have Gargoyle yet. He's missing the yellow soul that he needs to get on the path to the good ending. Alright, claim for Berix now, so the offense is equalized. Berix without slide is showing off how you can use Giant Bat to get that slide item. And then sleeping out so you don't need to waste MP going back with the bat. That's also pretty cool. And Halgorithm is gonna farm zombies, it looks like. Well, he gave it a try. He's gonna do something else. He's gonna like what he sees here. That's the fish head on the ledge there. The required red soul. And back to farming zombies, who apparently drop potions, which is kind of a nice side benefit. And Berix is going to be able to find top floor right now as well. Oh right, Zombie was the farm for the fish head, so he doesn't have to actually do it. So what he's realized now is that he needs to be farming Nemesises. And so he's gone to... Nemesises? He's gone to Inner Quarters looking for a good spot to do that. Berix finishing up top floor. Unfortunately, there's just not a lot that helps them in this area. I can only think Berix is also missing the yellow soul. I might have seen Gremlin on his screen instead of Gargoyle and thought it was Gargoyle. He is going into Dance Hall, which will give him access to a place to farm Nemesis, as well as a couple more checks if he wants to do them. It looks like he's going for the farm right here. This is the one I was talking about next to the Dance Hall warp. Halgorithm has gotten a different yellow soul. And Berix did get from the Ghost Dancers, I believe, the Lubricant Soul, which is like the ultimate in risk-reward souls. With lower HP, you get higher stats. And we'll probably see him put it on for the later bosses in the seed. Another copy of White Dragon for Halgorithm. So Berix did get a little lucky in the last match that he played. It seems like neither of them is having a great time with this farm. Halgoritm's doing the sanity check of, am I farming the right enemy? Seems like Berix might have it. This room that Halgorithm is in is just a little more awkward to farm the Nemesis in. Berix is into the Graham fight. Graham has 3 phases. Berix is already into phase 2, where he does these spinny Dracula-like orbs. At the end of the second phase, you need your required souls equipped. That is the check for the good ending. So Berix has put them on, he's through phase 2, can put Lubricant back on, because he can have whatever he wants equipped for phase 3. And the Claim Solace just does a lot of damage, and so does Manticore. I don't expect combat to be much of a problem in this seed. Alright, Halgorithm is also coming to top floor now. And Calamoth is behind Graham. Thanks. Hello Raiders from SpeedGaming. Just getting close to the end of this first game in a best of 3 in this Aria randomizer match. Berix has finished the fight with Graham and is headed onto the fight with Julius Belmont. He's in the lead right now. Julius is the second of the 3 endgame bosses. The difference in this one seems to be a better farm spot for the third required soul that they had to find around the castle. Neither of them found like the copy that's guaranteed. They opted to farm it from an enemy instead, which is, it's an option you can make, and they both happened to make it, and Berix got done with his farm faster. Alright, halgorithm is done with Graham, as Berix is working on phase 1 of Julius. Julius, being the Belmont of this game, has the classic Castlevania whip attacks, as well as some slides and kicks, and he hits pretty hard. But Berix has already pushed him into phase 2, where he's actually going to gain the use of some classic Castlevania sub-weapons as well. So there's a cross, there's another cross, there's holy water. Berix has switched over to the Khalid Bulg for this fight, by the way. Julius resists holy, so the claim is not a very good choice here. Julius has kind of a mechanic where he will do a little stagger after 4 hits from a weapon attack in his first phase, but he drops that for the second phase, which is makes it much quicker to deal damage in the second phase. And Berix is done with the fight, is headed into the final area of the game, the Chaotic Realm, which is not one of the randomized areas. It's always in the same spot, because otherwise you get to Chaos too easily. Can't just let you go to the final boss. Looks like there's going to be 2 items that are souls in here. And they've got such good stuff at this point that I'm not surprised that Berix seems to be skipping the checks in here. Doesn't look like halgorithm got the Khalid Bulg, so he's using the Livatane that both of them bought in the shop. Still a good weapon, just doesn't pack quite as much punch. Has a bit of a friendlier hitbox though. The Livatane is long enough. You can do it with the Khalid Bulg too, but your spacing needs to be a little tighter. You could just Livatane and then backdash out of reach of the whip for a really safe fight if you wanted to. But at this stage of the tournament, it's a good time to go for as much DPS as you can get. Julius has a lot of health. Halgoritm's done with the fight as Berix is entering Chaos and getting his 3 colors of souls locked away. He's equipping the ones he wants to use when he defeats these statues to get his souls back. There's 3 different attacks going on. There's this beast that charges at you. There are diamonds that have rectangular hitboxes that you can actually just knock away. There's a lock-on reticle that steals your MP. The statues have no defense though, so you can kind of slice through them with ease. Alright, into phase 2. The only thing we really need to fight here is the core, but the core's got really high defense. And the way you deal with that, well, 17 damage is no slouch, but you can knock out these eyes on the side of the room to decrease the defense of the core. which is what Berix is working on now. There's one eye down. There's a lot of things going on in this fight. You want to avoid pretty much everything that moves in your direction. So, tiny green orbs, do some crowd control, keep them out of your way. Bone Dragon, he's pretty random, you just need to like watch out for where he's going. And he tosses out those big green orbs sometimes, those hurt a lot. Alright, making good use of Mana Core, dealing 48 damage with 3 eyes down. Watching out for Bone Dragon right in his way, but that is GG to Berix. With a race time of 36:02, and that seems like it could be another PB for him. But yeah, Berix is going to take game 1 as Halgorithm enters Chaos. Probably going to finish this up with, like, Flame Solace and Manticore, some of the best stuff in the game. Not going to take too long. Now remember, this is a best of 3, so while Berix is up 1 game to none, there are more coming up right after this. So when Halgorithm is done, we will reload and get ready for the next race. Two big difference makers in this one, I think. Berix getting to see the fish head soul earlier, as well as just having a slightly better spot for the Nemesis farm. Alright, Halgorithm's got 3 eyes down, dealing 39 a hit, and this is the power of jump canceling right here. You can just do these sword swings with an enormous sword so fast, and like while you're hitting the core, you're controlling the little green orbs as well. Keeping them under control. Alright, that's GG to Halgorithm. Okay, so we don't usually do interviews between the games. We'll talk to them at the end of the series, but we will get them a new seed and get set up for Game 2, and be back with you shortly. So don't go away, or if you do, don't go away for too long. See you in a couple minutes. Hello and welcome to Game 2 of what I think is the losers semi-finals of the Aria Randomizer tournament as part of SpeedGaming Live 2022. Both these players are fighting for their tournament lives in a best-of-3 match. Berix is up 1 game to none, and Halgorithm is praying for no farms in game number 2. Halgorithm will need to win this game to force game 3. It looks like they've got the Anakiri, a katana weapon, as their starting weapon, but there's a Muramasa in the shop, which is a much better katana, and also a cheap death sickle, if they want it. A couple good souls as well, Giant Skeleton, Shadow Knight. Real expensive tea, but cheap super potions, for what they usually seem to be. 42k is not bad at all. Yeah, they're both gonna go with the Muramasa. Don't blame them in that starting shop. So they sold off, they get a random piece of, a random piece of armor and a random weapon, instead of the knife and casual clothes that you normally get, and so they sold both of those off to get some of the good stuff. A couple souls already here in the castle. Oh, there's our Black Panther. So at this, as of the top of this room, both of our players will be going fast. But they are picking up a number of other souls that are not necessarily progression required. They could be if the need for them is described on the 3 ancient books throughout the castle. The main idea of this randomizer is to get these 3 random souls that you need to be able to become Dracula and get on the path to the good ending. So anything they pick up in a soul candle could be one of those options. There are decoys throughout the castle, so you can't just, like, pick up a soul and assume it's the correct one without reading the book. You could guess without reading the book. Guessing poses a risk of guessing incorrectly, though, and having to redo a boss fight. Early Black Panther is guaranteed in this preset, yes. And Hippogriff is on our way up through Castle Corridor. So don't need double jump, just need one really big high jump. That allows them to do this ledge check right here, which has slide in it. So we can go into tight gaps, we can go to any place above us. We can't go underwater yet. We will need to figure out a way to do that at some point before the end of the seed. And there's only one thing left in Castle Corridor, one potentially important thing. The blue number to the right of their HP and MP is counting number of soul candles plus ancient books in the area. And those that soul candle count does include the decoys. Underground Cemetery is the area that is through this door, which normally leads you to inner quarters. This is an area randomizer, and Cemetery has one thing in it, and it's not in front of the boss this time. So they will both probably take a look at which boss is in the door down right of this save point, and decide whether they want to do this fight. It's Headhunter, so this should not be too bad. Headhunter has 3 phases. The first one is not really notable. Just watch out for stab attacks. They don't have the greatest armor right now, so they are taking a decent amount of damage. Berix is using his 1 healing item. The Old Man phase, the Old Man casts 2 spells. He tells you which one he's going to cast, so you can try to avoid it that way. The lightning attack will almost never hit you if you do that. Then there's the Lizard phase, which Halgorithm is on. Lizard goes all over the room and spits poison, which is that purple thing right there. That'll get you poisoned if you touch it. Lizard is the most annoying. Berix making good use of Shadow Knight to actually finish this fight first. Alright, we've got both the army jacket and the soldier uniform so far in this area. Can we complete the set? Nope, that's a spear. Treading carefully through this Ripper room. Rippers deal a lot of damage and they can kind of combo you. The Demon Lord soul is the end. Possible required red soul. Halgoritm's going to use it right now to clear out some Rippers. Heading backward through this room. Gonna top up on HP. Halgoritm's taking a full save. And then they'll go try another door, because there's no second exit out of the cemetery. Gotta go back out the way you came in. Berix is going to check the vanilla top floor entrance first. And halgorithm will do the same, and it leads to Dance Hall. So they will be able to full clear this area, even if there are books and slide spots with that early slide. Berix taking a save. This save point is so helpful because you can go explore the top, and then if there's nothing you need, just reset back to the save, and then go to the bottom. And if there's nothing in the bottom, reset back to the save again, and just leave. Alright, there is one soul at the top here. So they're not going to reset out of that. They're going to keep that just in case it is the blue soul they need. And it's Imp, which is not very useful from a combat perspective, but if you need it, you need it. That's a yellow book. Did Berix not get slide? He's not sliding to get that. Halgorithm is also passing it up. I have Lunix with me on tracking, by the way. He's already guessing that Imp is going to be the blue that they need. Yeah, so Aria Randomizer only changes where red doors lead. So those are always at like the edges of areas. The runes within the area are all the same. So like Dance Hall is all connected to the Dance Hall. Okay, Berix says, remember the slide, gonna check book 3, it's Peeping Eye from Big Golem. So what that says to us is we need the Peeping Eye Yellow Soul, and we can get it by farming Big Golem if we so desire. But it's also guaranteed to be in a candle somewhere in the castle. Berix finds a gold plate in the ceiling check, and I'll put that on because that is the best armor that he has seen. And there's 2 things in inner quarters here. Inner quarters has 3 exits, so it's kind of nice to see. Coming in from the right side is not so nice though, because there's not a save point over here, and there is a random boss here. So if it's a particularly bad boss that you don't want to fight right now, you might regret not taking a save blow here and come back in here. Halgorithm already cleared out the early checks in Castle Corridor that you need some kind of jump for. Berix is doing the same now. I think they left the Dance Hall Ledge item for now. The item that's on the ledge that leads up to the vanilla Dance Hall door. It's a little bit out of the way. It looks like the boss here is Legion, and Halgorithm has got a positron rifle to go after it. I think that was in the Headhunter shop. So when I say the Headhunter shop, I mean the items that Hammer gets from somewhere. We don't really ask by defeating Headhunter. And positron rifle can be pretty useful for hitting multiple parts of Legion. Usually people don't want to do Legion though, because he takes a while. He's tanky. Berix is also coming into this fight. Looks like the Succubus Soul was also in that shop, and maybe Iron Golem as well. And Halgorithm Also has the Were-Tiger Soul, which he might make great use of. That's a source of iframes. But also kind of a decent, like, punch attack. Alright, seems like something might be stuck behind the Chronomage in this seed. Don't have any way of stopping time at the moment, so I can't do anything about him. And on the left side of inner quarters is a path into the underground reservoir, which has apparently 6 potentially progression items out of a total of 21. But without Skula, can't go in any further right now. Still looking for that swimming soul. So with Iron Golem equipped, Halgorithm is taking no knockback from these enemies that he's now just dashing straight through. That can be pretty useful for exploration, just not getting bounced around all the time as you're trying to go places. Also gonna find that gold plate and put it on. Berix is still working on his Legion fight. Didn't go shopping a second time, I believe. Okay, there it goes. Legion is done. We're definitely not having as great of a time with the Muramasa. Okay, Dance Hall Ledge was not a soul. In our vanilla garden door today, we have the bottom of Clock Tower. So, gonna be waterlocked out of this one as well. There's nothing we can do besides pick up this warp. Berix also seeing Reservoir, only gonna be able to check the 2 items at the start here. I think he was looking for School in his menu, and yeah, realizing he doesn't have it. Alright, so we've seen the vanilla top floor door. I don't think we've seen the vanilla bottom of Clock Tower door, or the one all the way at the end here. Yeah, I don't think either of them went to the end of Castle Corridor, so that's probably where this one last check is. And it's in the bat spot. And it's Galamoth. Oh, that's gross. So that's considered the bat spot because that always expects you to have Giant Bat to be able to reach that item. But if it's a Soul Candle, you can just kind of break it without needing Bat. There's Minotaur for Halgorithm, which is a decent strength upgrade. There are better ones, but I'll take 8 if you're giving me 8 strength. Oh, there's Peeping Eye. So that is the yellow soul that is required for Halgorithm. When he finds a rare ring, he's going to put it on for hopefully some extra drop luck off enemies. As you zoom around with Black Panther, you can actually, like, just defeat a whole bunch of the weaker enemies in the game just by charging straight through them. And that's Skula in Chapel as well, so this chapel is pretty huge. Gonna be able to go back through those spots they were waterlocked out of before. Reservoir is gonna take some doing to get to, but... Oh, it's right here, never mind. Reservoir is 5 doors into it. And we found another one. That's Malthus for halgorithm as well. Having double jump even after you have Hippogriff is nice quality of life. Bottom of Reservoir leads to the long, painful Vanilla Dance Hall door to reach, so... just gonna keep exploring Reservoir. Flying armor in the slide spot. Flying armor doesn't let you fly, it does let you glide. It can be useful for certain things as the waterfall climb, which we will not see because we have Hippogriff, but you can just kind of refresh your jump by briefly touching the water. Berix finds Manticore at Galamoth, by the way. That is the best rush soul. That would be useful for getting behind this very waterfall. Waterfall item is Backdash. There's one check that hard requires Backdash, but with heavy weapons like Positron Rifle in use right now, won't say no to Backdash. And chat also calling out that Berix got a Curly Drop, which would be a second one of those Rush Souls. The third one being Devil. Alright, there's Skula for Berix. So there's that second copy. And double jump as well, and we'll see if he goes into Chapel here. Halgorithm is backtracking out of Reservoir to go follow the Galamoth check, I believe. Yeah, Galamoth stops that bunny from teleporting you back outside of that room, and you just get to run on by and check those 2 items. Alright, there's the yellow soul for Berix. Still looking out for 2 more ancient books, and whatever souls they could possibly say on them. As well as 2 areas I don't believe we've seen yet. We need to find Top Floor and Floating Garden to be able to get on the final boss sequence. And we don't have all the ingredients to be able to go behind the waterfall yet, I don't believe. So maybe our way forward is the door leading out of Eastern Reservoir. Algorithm has found the arena, which only has one potentially important item in it. As Berix has found an absolutely loaded study. 5 potentially important items. Disc Armor we take. That's a pretty good multi-hit red soul. Oh, and it looks like Arena was through that door in Eastern Reservoir. So Halgoritham's gonna check the items in here now. He pushed the boat before realizing he didn't have to. But yeah, if you don't have, oh, there's Giant Bat. If you don't have Hippogriff or Giant Bat, speaking of, you have to push that boat and then jump off it to be able to get into this side of the map that looks like a man. One thing left in Reservoir, and it's right here. It is the Zombie Soul. Berix is fighting Death at the end of Study. Death is the other shop expansion boss. The shop expansions are separated in this version of the randomizer. So the items that Death gives you by unlocking his shop are separate from the Headhunter ones. In the vanilla game, beating Death gives you all the items. That's no longer the case. If you want all the items, you need to beat both Death and Headhunter. Alright, after doing the Eastern checks, Halgorithm is back into Arena, as Berix is going to keep working on Study. Alright, all done with Study, just a Catoblepus over here. Headed out the other door, it's the wrong door of Forbidden Area. Gotta go back. And Halgorithm has also found the Study. Berix will go in search of another door to try. Book 2 is Kainazo from Gargoyle, by the way. Might need to go into Clock Tower at this point. We don't have Undyne to go behind the waterfall in here, but we can get into Clock Tower because we did see the School of Copies. The order that you kill Headhunter and Death does not matter. So Headhunter has a set of 10 items or so that Headhunter unlocks, and you just get access to those whenever you beat Headhunter. And Death also has a set that unlock when you beat Death. But yeah, they like belong to that boss. So Headhunter has a list of 10 items, Death has a list of 10 items. You don't get the it's not like, yeah, it's not like the first list is just beat one of them. It's like they're having separate garage sales. Algorithm also going to get the news about Forbidden Area. There is something in there, but just can't get in from this way. So gonna have to check doors that go to the right if we want to see what that item is. It could be behind the waterfall. That would be Forbidden Area's vanilla door. Alright, Berix is doing Eastern Reservoir. Algorithm also seeing the chapel door. I think you might not have seen that side of it. Or maybe not remembered it was there. Pretty sure he's been in this door as well. But he's gonna go pick up his book now. Yeah, way earlier they both had slide. They could have picked up that book, but they actually both passed it up at first. Berix came back for it in like 30 seconds or so. Algorithm left it until now. But now has the knowledge. And strictly speaking, you don't need the books. Like, you can guess. There's also no check that the books are in your inventory, so you don't need to have them picked up, you just need to know what they say. But guessing can lose you a lot of time, so we search onward. Alright, behind the school locked door in Castle Corridor is Floating Garden. That's got one item in it. That's a Sherman ring, and I think a map. No, it's a high mind up. Okay. That's valuable. I'm seeing that someone has obtained a final sword. That is a really good weapon. Oh, the bottom of a garden is top floor. So one of the other places we need to be. Okay, so Undyne was all the way down here in the DDR room in Arena. So that is the other ingredient to check past the waterfall. Need Undyne plus a Rush Soul. Algorithm finds an extra positron rifle. And there's book 1 at the top of top floor. It's Demon Lord from Dryad. So they both have Demon Lord. And Halgorithm is going into Graham. So I'll take that to mean that he also has his Kainazo. Pulling out the Death Scythe for Graham, who just warps around and launches a lot of fireballs in Phase 1. Manticore also does pretty good triple hit damage to him. And then Phase 2, he moves to the center, stops warping around, but he's going to do some spinny fireballs now. And yeah, Algorithm's got all of his souls, so he's go mode. Finding Garden was huge, just because of having top floor past it. Berix is going back into Clock Tower, so... Oh, there's the second copy of the book 1! So that actually works out really well for Berix. Algorithm has finished Graham. The place where he needed to have the required souls equipped was at the end of that spinny fireball phase. Looks like there's a Dainsliff behind Graham. It's a very powerful but slightly awkward to use Dark Sword. Put an Iron Golem back on, because he's going to make a shop trip, just wants to run through the enemies. Well, this is either a shop trip... Oh, he's heading straight for Garden, but wants to take the top door in. And there was also a Cowled along the way, so that would be a less awkward option than Dainsliff. Cowled is jump cancelable. Dainsliff would have to be backdash cancelable. But no, I'm going to stick with Death Sickle for Julius. Julius is doing a lot of kicks today. Doesn't even need to take the whip out of his pocket. Okay, there he goes. Julius has 2 phases. Halgorithm making use of Succubus to restore some HP with every weapon hit. Phase 1 is pretty much just these physical attacks. They hit pretty hard though. 134 a hit from the whip. Alright. Into Phase 2, Julius is casting Grand Cross, which you actually have to avoid. That has a hitbox that even kind of lingers after the graphic is starting to disappear. But Julius has gained the use of his sub-weapons now if he decides to use them. He's got Holy Water, an Axe, and a Cross. Berix is into Graham, by the way. There's about a boss A little more than a boss separating these two. Berix did take game 1, so Halgorithm is in the lead playing to force a game 3. And that is the end of the Julius fight for Halgorithm. Alright, there's one soul in the Chaotic Realm. Algorithm did the check, but I wasn't able to see what it was. Doesn't want whatever it was. Berix has equipped his required souls, and he's pulling out the final sword that he got. That is a heavy weapon. You need to backdash cancel it, but it can multi-hit if you get enough of its hitbox to linger over the thing you want to hit. Which is a little bit hard with the first two phases of Graham, because you have to hit his tiny head. But phase 3, a little bit easier. Halgorithm still should have Muramasa if they didn't sell it. I believe that was this seed. Berix is done with Graham, gonna make his way back to the floating garden. Which way is he taking out? Yeah, he's just gonna take the door from the bottom. And at 38-28, Halgorithm is headed into the Chaos fight. So Chaos is gonna seal away his equipped souls. And he's gotta earn them back. Muramasa shouldn't make that too difficult, though. These statues have no defense. Multi-hit weapons don't have very high attack, but they make up for that by hitting multiple times. So 79 times 2 or 3. Pretty good DPS. The yellow statue is trying to lock on and steal Halgorithm's MP. The diamonds can be knocked away, as you saw him doing there. And then gotta avoid the beast dashing at you as well. So got 2 souls back, just need to take out the third statue. Berix has also pulled out the death sickle for Julius. Alright, and Halgorithm is going to use Creaking Skull to work on the eyes in Phase 2 of Chaos. Those control the defense of the central core. Looks like there's a little green orb coming back to him. Creaking Skull, what are you doing? Eating a green orb. Has some healing, though. The eyes also have no defense, so still with the Muramasa for now. Looking for a different option, maybe. Shadow Knight also a decent choice here. Eating 2 green orbs! But also eating some grapes. Alright, 2 eyes down. Muramasa is not going to deal very high damage to the highly defensive core. Even Shadow Knight is only dealing 8 here. So, gonna go for some extra eyes, probably. Julius is throwing an axe that sailed completely the wrong direction away from Berix. This is the most axes that I've ever seen Julius throw. Looks like Halgorithm is all 4 eyes down, dealing 10 times 3 and 22 with the Shadow Knight. Getting some HP back with Succubus, which isn't bad. I think he might have picked up another green orb. Yeah. So topped up a little bit. Did get hit by the spikes there. tanking a lot of hits from these. Well, he is at full HP now, which can give him some breathing room. And there we go, that is the Flash, and GG to halgorithm on taking game 2 of this best of 3. Halgorithm is done with a time of 42:06. And they're talking about it a bit in the race room. I think Berix is going to fight Chaos here, though. So Berix, with the benefit of the final sword, is a much bigger sword hitbox to work with, and is dealing 152 a hit. That is incredible. So the Aria Grand Finals that you would be seeing on YouTube recently, that was from the summer tournament. We had one back in the summer. This is a new one. And with big weapons like this, you can do some nice wraparound strats, so you can get a hit in on the core and then also hit an eye. And Final Sword also being huge helps with controlling green orbs. Sticking with 2 eyes, 54 in a single jump is not bad. This is a heavy weapon, you have to backdash cancel it. But Berix is making it look like no problem. Eating a green orb, but has beef curry for that. And that's GG to Berix. Alright, Berix has finished with a time of 44:56. So it's now evened up 1-1. Big difference in this one seemed to be choice of doors when having Skula. Halgorithm found Garden first, that got him into top floor, and that just unlocked so much, got him his go mode. But yeah, this being a best of 3, we will get them a new seed. Game 3 is coming up right after this. Don't go away. Back with more Aria of Sorrow in just a couple minutes. Hello and welcome, gamers, to Game 3 of a best of 3 in the losers semi-finals in the Castlevania Aria of Sorrow Randomizer tournament as part of SpeedGaming Live 2022. This is between Berix and halgorithm. They've already fought to 1-1. They're fighting for their tournament lives. They need to take game 3. And we're already off and going. Their starting equipment sold for quite good amounts. There's Kunitsuna in the shop. It's kind of expensive, but Algorithm's picking it up. Iron Golem, which will help them get around a little faster. And I think Algorithm also bought Maneater, which will let him pick up some soul candles through walls. Not a very good soul otherwise. We have area randomization going on. We have Panther first. Panther's right there. Panther lets them go very fast. It's very nice to have. And it does kind of feel bad when somebody gets it and you don't. So we just give it to everybody from the start. Arena is over to the left. Some important things in it, but not going to go in there just yet. It's quite a tough area. Gonna go fight Creaking Skull. There are 5 potentially important items in Castle Corridor. That's what that number near the top middle is telling you. So, could be soul candles giving them needed abilities to explore the castle, or ancient books. Ancient books will tell them what 3 souls they need to find to be able to get on the good ending path of the game. And they would need to have those 3 souls equipped when they go and fight Graham Jones in the top floor. So they could sneak into Arena if they want, but it's a little too bold of a play for this early when they've sold off their armor. Red Minotaur is a very good soul, but very expensive in MP. They won't even be able to use it right now. There's Malthus, so there's their double jump. So that will let them get into a number of doors leading out of the castle corridor, as well as deeper into Arena if they would like to do so. And this door, the Vanilla Inner Quarters door, is the Underground Cemetery, and it's got 1 potentially important item out of 4. So there is a boss in this area, but there's 1 item before the boss. So they'll take a look at what that is first. It's an Osafune. That is a decent weapon. It's a very big sword. It's jump cancelable. Got a lot of benefits. To jump cancel a weapon, you jump, use the weapon, and then once you land, you can instantly use the weapon again. You can move around, do whatever you want. The boss in here is Big Golem, who is not too tough. He's usually the boss of Dance Hall. There is boss randomization. It is only some of the bosses. The first 2 and the last 3 are kept where they usually are, because Creaking Skull being randomized would lead you to some difficult starts. But Big Golem is one of the swap bosses. This is normally where Legion is. Ranjna's Spear, back here. That is a heavy backdash cancel weapon. Book 2 is Alistor from Giant Worm. So we've already got one of our ancient books. We need to find the Alistair soul. And if we want to get it by farming giant worms, they can. Giant worm doesn't... Well, I guess there is a decent farm spot for it, but... They've got a lot more things to find. They're going to do more exploration for sure. Folks asking if Giant Worm was in the shop. I personally missed that, but if it is, that is great for them. They'll just get it whenever they go back to Hammer then. So yes, another feature of Hammer's shop is available from the start. They start with 30,000 gold. The items all roll to various random high prices, but the souls make up half of the shop, and they always cost 15,000 gold. Hammer doesn't usually sell souls, and the randomizer is expanding his business a little bit. At the end of Castle Corridor is Study, and Algorithm, meanwhile, has found the clock tower. So I can't actually go into Study because we don't have anything allowing us to become one tile high. We don't have Slide or Giant Bat. And leading off of Clock Tower, Halgorithm has found the Forbidden Area, which has a potentially important item in it. But can't get really deep into Forbidden Area because we don't have the Swimming Soul, Spula. But there is a door leading out of here that you can access by pushing this button, and then you'll never get dead-ended in here. So it's over to Eastern Reservoir. Also can't do much in here. Can check the first couple items over here. So on the dance hall ledge, Viewer, or Beware. There's an armor upgrade for Algorithm so far, the pitch black suit, better than those gym clothes. Alright, Berix is sneaking into the floating garden entrance. You can just kind of creep Soma's toes onto that ledge if you have double jump. The game expects you to have Undyne there to allow you to stand on the water, but don't strictly need it. And Death is the boss of the clock tower, it seems. Death is not too bad. The most annoying thing about him is the mini scythes that he spawns, which Berix seems to be able to use Boyer to control with a ring of fire. Make them wink out of existence. But on to phase 2, Death does away with the mini scythes, throws his bigger double scythe around a lot, and charges at you. Death also gets this 5 laser attack in the first phase as well. It's kind of annoying. You can like place the lasers really close to each other by stutter stepping, if they wanted to. Algorithm's just kind of letting the lasers take him back toward the door. Alright, done with Death. Death does drop a soul, and in the seat it's Were-Tiger. So that could be the source of some punch iframes later on. I think they already have Iron Golem though, so not going to be too much of an issue. Iron Golem just lets them run into whatever they like with Reckless Abandon. Algorithm takes the Death to death. He is right at the save point. This isn't too much of a loss. I'm gonna reset though. Maybe I'm gonna do something else instead. I think Berix is walking around the clock tower with still not the greatest armor, so he's taking a lot of damage from running into things. And so he finds the Forbidden Area door now. Algorithm has taken the long walk up to the vanilla dance hall door, and it's another entrance into Reservoir. It's this time it's the one you normally see near the start of the game. Can check only the one item in here, it seems, for now, because we don't have a way of getting into that ceiling check. We would if we had Undyne, or if they had the Kicker Skeleton. So there's also a setup discovered recently where you can just kind of dash off a boat, but I think it's hard enough that Algorithm didn't want to try it. So without Maneater, Berix is not going to be able to hit that soul to the left, because he didn't buy it. Don't think he's picked up a red soul at this point that would reach that far. Algorithm is making the arena play now. Just tagging the warp for now. Gonna go clear up the rest of the castle corridor with their newfound movement. Oh, there's a blue book above. Hammer. So copy number 2 of the blue book. Question from chat, who's winning? Chat is winning because we got a game 3. Algorithm is buying a whole stack of pudding, it appears. Or gotta be close to it. I'm gonna take that pudding into the arena. Three potentially important items here. We cannot quite full clear. There is one slide locked item in here. Algorithm sold off his armor to buy all his puddings. So I picked up the armor of water. That'll be a decent upgrade for him. Just a hrunting on the ledge. I don't think that's going to be good enough for them to go around and pick up. A black belt behind the giant skeleton at the candle check. Alright, Berix has picked up the Vijaya, which is a jump-canceling lightning weapon. Doesn't have the highest raw strength, but it is a multi-hit weapon. Just a trident behind the lubricant room. Can't do that room. And the boss is a vanilla blore. So yeah, I gotta take off Iron Golem so we don't take extra damage from no knockback. Dealing 15 with the Kunitsuna. This is a great fight to use the Osofune for. It might not be high enough damage for what Algorithm likes though. So switching to the Ronginus Spear. And Berix has followed him into Arena, so really they've seen a lot of the same things so far. Gonna top up his 90 HP and save before checking the boss. Belor Phase 2 is down for Halgorithm. Belor drops Blue Crow. Oh, and that's Skula behind Belor. That's pretty important. That'll get us past all those water spots that we couldn't check before. Seen a couple ways into Eastern Reservoir, also seen Clock Tower, which has a waterlocked portion. Berix is using the Ascalon for this Belor fight. Ascalon is not too shabby either. You do have to backdash cancel it, but it is pretty powerful. And the second eye has either no or very little defense, so dealing a lot more damage this time on this phase. And Belor 2 is done for Berix. Algorithm's immediately going to the waterlock door in Castle Corridor, and it is the bottom of the floating garden. Alright, Berix has Skula now, and is gonna check the DDR room. Alright, Algorithm has found Undyne in the floating garden. So that would help them with the whole standing on water thing. As Berix finds Chronomage in the DDR room. That is pretty interesting, that is a time stop ability for him. And Algorithm's found Top Floor next to the top of Garden, and Top Floor has nothing. Oh, and behind the waterfall was Galamoth, so they both have a time stopper now. Alright, Algorithm is doing the waterfall climb. If you just dip your toes a little bit into this water, you get your jump back, because the way that Soma actually swims is by infinitely jumping. So refresh your jump, get a little higher. There's a soul at the very top of the waterfall. They weren't able to reach this by going into Eastern before without Skula. He's got to go underwater to get that from the other side. Having some trouble getting to the top. That is really hard. Gonna go do other things. Oh, that's a book. Can't get it, but it's a book. The Creaking Skull Soul is in the waterlocked part of Clock Tower. That is a pretty nice combat soul. And Algorithm's trying to get whatever these needles drop, and it is Triton. That's kind of a nice pickup. That is the best strength-boosting yellow soul in the game. Berix finds Giant Bat at the bottom of Clock Tower. That is pretty big. That's our first flight So now Berix can go anywhere and do anything, and it's just a matter of where the reading material is now. Inner quarters also seems to be empty. So, don't need those time stoppers after all. But there are 2 other doors leading out of inner quarters, so we'll see what those are. One of them is the bottom of Clock Tower, so that could get Halgorithm his flight soon enough here. Could go for revenge on death if he wants. Alright, Berix with Skula is gonna go check what this one item is in the forbidden area. There's only 2 items here. One being important. Definitely want to see what it is. Forbidden area is very long. So this is going to take him a little bit. There's a Khalid Bulb. It's a nice weapon pickup. Dark weapons are great for Julius in particular. He isn't like extra weak to dark or anything, but dark weapons don't work on chaos. So if there's going to be use, it's for Julius. Accidentally opened the box of rippers and did not have a great time with those. Or maybe did it intentionally, but wasn't able to get rid of all of them. It's a soul at the end, it's a red soul, and it's Wader Skeleton. So we could serve up some beef curry as our required red once we pick up that book and find out. Looks like Berix has got the wooden golem soul in his pocket as well. That's a great source of MP regen. Any source of MP regen that you have is just... like, their tick rate is very good. And so, like, if they also found a rune ring somewhere, having 2 sources of MP regen is just... you basically don't run out of MP. He's pushing the boat because that's a little easier for him than going into the menu to equip Giant Bat. That little clip into the wall is allowed. And there's Alistor. It's in one of the flight-locked spots above the waterfall that Halgorithm couldn't get to earlier. And he also opens the Ripper box. There's a copy of Iron Golem on the left, so that's what they were missing. There was a Khalid Bulb in the forbidden area, the first item. But if there are extra Khalid Bulbs dropping, can sell those. Five more things to dig out in this underground reservoir. Berix is going to be able to check the book when he finds it, because he is going to be able to pick it up. Medusa Head is the blue soul behind the waterfall at the top. And Halgoritham's also going to hit this Alistor, so they both have their blue soul. Berix is getting a little slowed down in this room. He got imped. When the imps take you over, they make Soma really mad and just attack, and you need to shake yourself free. Berix also getting Triton from the needle drop. Not sure I would want that underwater ramen, but it is healing. Whip sword, and can finally check what's in the merman room. It is slide, wow. So the solution to getting that red book was here all along. Just couldn't get it on the first trip. And Berix is actually leaving for now. Let's see what he's thinking. I think he's thinking the waterlock door. So that is garden access for Berix. He's gonna get his Undyne in here as halgorithm picks up his slide. Now, halgorithm has already seen the red book, so he knows he needs to get back there. And we'll finally get to take a look at it. Red book says, Disc Armor from Succubus. Alright, Berix is trying to do the waterfall checks. With only Giant Bat, it does take a lot of MP, so he was waiting for his MP to come back up there. Got an Elfin Robe. Nice int boosting armor. And halgoritm's going back for more pudding. And I guess one really expensive cream puff. Okay, now Berix has seen the book and can double back for it. Still on the lookout for the yellow book. We've seen 2 copies of blue. There's a 50-50 shot that a second copy is placed when a first one exists. I'm thinking the answer right now is study, because I believe we saw the slide lock side of it. And now that they have slide, they could take it back there. Berix gets the Yasutsuna out of the reservoir. That's the second best katana. Oh, that's book 3. Gorgon from Skull Million. It's in the dance hall ceiling, and Halgorithm is also here. Yeah, they had both seen the red and blue books until Berix just found that yellow book. In fact, they'd both seen both copies of the blue book. Oh, and there's Hippogriff here as well. Great dance hall. Yeah, I forgot about these flight lock doors. We couldn't get into them before. I got the Fleeman drop. It appears to be Persephone. There's a nice stack of Fleemen in that room that you can fight and try to get whatever they have. And there's the rune ring in the slide spot on the way to the boss. Alright, they're both gonna fight Headhunter as the random boss here. Headhunter will let them access some more items in the shop. Maybe another healing option for Halgorithm so he doesn't need to keep refilling on puddings every time. And Headhunter drops Creaking Skull. And just another copy of Wooden Golem. Berix has already seen that somewhere. But they'll both have all the MP they will ever want in this seed. So something I'm not so sure of. I know they both have Alistor. I am less sure about the other ones. I think Berix looked at his inventory and doesn't have the yellow one yet. But he does find the regular entrance of study. Yeah, these guys have one game apiece. This is game 3. In this best of 3. The winner moves on, the loser's tournament is done. It's Kicker Skeleton for Berix. Not really expected to pick up anything with Kicker Skeleton, but can be some nice style points. Halgorithm is farming Skull Millions, and he's got his copy of Gorgon. Oh, and it's a legion here in the study. When are we getting kicker required seeds? Well, technically never, because the logic doesn't expect it, but maybe it would be nice sometimes. You could have used kicker in this seed to have it pay off and gotten slide that way. Alright, I think Halgorithm is stocked up. Well, even if he doesn't have the Disc Armor Soul, he could just head straight back to top floor. Because the farm Succubus is in top floor. Alright, that looks like Legion down for Berix. And yeah, that's what Halgorithm is doing, going back into top floor. Not a great study. Just winged skeleton for fighting Legion, who does give a decent amount of experience, so it's not nothing. But they both had to fight Balor already, so I don't think they're too worried about their level at this point. Gonna take that beef curry on the floor and top floor, even when the countdown is 0. Like, that means there's no potential progression items, but that doesn't count out, like, taking a look at what equipment and healing items are still available. There's still items in those spots. Yeah, it looks like Halgorithm is gonna try and farm some succubuses or succubi. This isn't a great room to do it, I think. Just because the ones that are dressed like Meanie, you need to go tap them to make them come out of their costume. The room above this may be decent. It's gotta watch its HP. I think Berix is still gonna be looking for canisters. So it was just great armor in the inner quarters, waiting as the boss. There was no reason to really explore in here before with the 0 items, but Chapel is on the left side, and that's got 3 items. Lovely early game area to find at the end of the game. And yeah, it looks like Halgorithm has moved up to this upper room, where there's just the succubus sitting around here already uncostumed. This is somewhat of a tough farm because they can backstep and rush toward you. And as you can see, it's taking several hits. There is Berix's copy of Gorgon. So he would only be looking for disc armor at this point. That's it, disc armor. Chapel was loaded, Berix is in go mode. Now he will probably have to walk back to top floor, because I don't believe either of them headed in to just get the warp in there. But no problem. Halgorithm had to do it too. There is Halgorithm red soul. So he's got a bit of a lead by doing that farm. He's got his 3 required souls. He's going to head up to the Graham fight now, as Berix is going to do some shopping. Let's get some top floor and boss music here. Putting on Creaking Skull for Graham, who is somewhat of a Dracula impersonator, you might say. He warps around, throws fish head-like fireballs, and also these big ones that Soma can use with the Demon Lord Soul if he wants. If you can get him close to a wall, you could use a Rush Soul against him. I don't think... wow, did we even find one Rush Soul this time? That's kind of incredible if we didn't, because logic expects there to be one if you need to get behind the waterfall. Gonna switch from the Black Belt to the Rune Ring for some extra MP healing. And from Triton to... yeah, he's putting on the required souls now. You need them equipped at the end of this this spinny orb phase for Graham. So dealt the final hit there, got the text box. Into phase 3 he can put on whatever he wants. Carefully turning slide back on, it is very helpful for this phase because it lets you slide under the reach of the hands, as well as away from the laser if both a hand and the laser are coming toward you. Just a great safety for this fight. Alright, Halgorithm is done with Graham. That's a live attain behind Graham. That is a nice sword to find. And with Garden pretty close, Halgorithm can head right over there. Because when you have to head through Garden to get to top floor, I don't think you so easily forget where Garden is. But that is where Julius Belmont waits for Halgorithm's next challenge. Berix is about to head into Graham. Alright, into Julius with the Calibulg, dealing 74 damage a hit, probably with Triton on. You can think of Triton almost as like an extra point of attack, so you just get 16 extra damage per hit. And that'll be the case for like all but the most defensive of enemies. Taking out Creaking Skull as well, to add some extra hits. So Julius's body doesn't really have a hitbox, so Halgorithm is just dashing through him with Black Panther. It deals 1 damage to him, but the damage isn't what's important. It's just getting out of the way of the whip attack. Yeah, if you time it right, you just avoid the whip hitbox and take no hit there. Berix is using some of the iframes from the top laser in Graham Phase 3, If you hippogriff your way up there, Soma gets iframes like he was hit, but that doesn't actually do anything. And he's done with Graham as halgorithm is getting into Julius phase 2. Julius is getting some sub-weapons now. I guess he just remembers how to use them, so he pulls out his holy water. And once again, no bodily hitbox, so just goes right through him when the flash for the holy water comes out. There's like a little twinkle in his hands that can show what he's doing. There's the one for the axe is definitely very red, and then the other two you can kind of guess based on his position. He only throws crosses when you're pretty far away horizontally. Halgorithm is done with Julius and headed into the Chaotic Realm, the final area of the game, where chaos waits. As Berix is now working on Julius. I don't think he has a Triton on, I think he's using something else. Yeah, he was using Stolas for extra Creaking Skull damage. Gonna swap that to Wooden Golem just for... Oh, he's gonna use Red Minotaur strats. That's right, we have that from the beginning of the game. So now they are high enough level to use that. Red Minotaur has that enormous axe hitbox that you just saw. It can multi-hit in certain situations. It does like a sweeping attack. And so if you basically aim backwards, you can multi-hit whatever you want pretty much. That's a blocking mail. Gonna put that on. Blocking mail does not have as much raw defense as some of the other better suits of armor in the game, but it does give you just a 30% chance to block an attack. Someone can take a hit, and instead of taking damage, you just guard against the hit. Berix definitely has a lot of safeties here, so I'm not really worried about losing the Julius fight. Just need to try to make up time. He's pushed into phase 2. Halgorithm is headed into the chaos fight. So Chaos is going to seal away the use of Halgorithm's souls. He needs to fight these statues to get them back. Looks like he's leaving school on for the moment. He's swapping to the Yasutsuna because multi-hit weapons work great on these statues. The blue one dashes at you, the red one tosses diamonds that you can knock away with your weapon, and that lock-on is stealing Halgorithm's MP, but with all that MP regen, they're not going to be too worried about that. There's that guard from the blocking mail coming out. Berix is done with Julius and headed into the Chaotic Realm as well. Halgorithm's got his Triton back, so that's a little attack boost on that last red statue there. Berix thinking about picking up that Ascalon, doesn't want it. Alright, these eyes have no defense. They control the defense of the central core, though, so we want to beat up some eyes to deal more than 8 damage. One's down, Creaking Skull is dealing 14 now, and it looks like 4 with the Yasutsuna. Halgorithm will swap weapons when it comes time to attack the core. 2 eyes down, eating a pudding, healing up some MP. Not changing weapons? Okay, changing weapons to the Ascalon, which is dealing 32. Changing weapons to the Leviatane, trying it out, 18. That's a little easier to use. I guess we're thinking he didn't pick up backdash this whole time. Ooh, he's getting a little comboed. Eating green orbs, skillfully guarded one of them. Oh, there's Curly in the Chaotic Realm. There finally is a rush soul. Curly's not the best one, but sure, it works, I guess. Doing a little wraparound. On your first jump, you can hit the core, and then on your second jump, you can turn around and hit one of the top eyes. Watch out for green orbs. Alright, third eye is down, dealing 26 and 31, looks like. That's a lot better of damage uptime. Creaking Skull does make these green orbs go a little bit all over the place. There's one right near his toes right now he needs to watch out for. Okay, it's gone. Berix is into Chaos 1. Using, I think, the Gungnir, which is also a decent multi-hit weapon. Can pick up triple hits of 77. Should be getting close here. And that's GG to Halgorithm. The winner of this best of 3 and advancing to lower bracket finals. Wow. This was a really close set the whole way through. And they're really just like a chaos phase and a half apart at the end here. For as much as this seed didn't want to let them have anything either. Looks like Berix is gonna employ Medusa Head to hit these top eyes. You just hold R and lets you sit in midair wherever you want. I don't think he meant to pick up that green orb, but gets it out of his way. And he has seen the finish, so I think he's just going for 4 eyes to get this done. Some safety healing there. The Gungnir's only dealing 9, so time to swap. Ascalon 47, that is much better. So far the Bone Dragon is being a little nice about giving him some space. This is not an easy fight, by the way. There's a lot of things going on. Ate 2 orbs right at the end. Finishing with 77 HP. But Chaos is down. GG to the Berix. And we are joined by the winner of the match, Halgorithm, in the booth. GG, sir.
GG's. That was an exhausting best of 3.
And Berix is also here.
I never complicated with that actual. Those seeds are so bad.
Yeah, Lunix is banned from rolling seeds for a while. That third one was... I can't believe the that Skua location was really rude.
I know, I'm like, oh, I must have messed up. Skula's right above Hammershot. I did the wrong thing. I made a mistake. No. It's an arena.
Behind Balor, at the very bottom. Wow. And even
like,
when you got it, like...
such a misplay to do this instead of going the dance hall exit. But dance hall exited to Reservoir!
Did you find a Rush Soul at all?
It is the last check in Chaotic. I know this because I full cleared the entire game.
Oh god.
And then tried to get to top floor through the waterfall and realized I didn't have a Rush Soul.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was like, thank god I wrote this down, because I would not have remembered how to get to Garden. Oh man. Yeah. That was very frustrating at the end, but it's good to be done with it. I
And
was
see-
doing the succubus farm incorrectly at the start, so that farm was pretty poor. I was thinking of the any percent speedrun way of doing it, where there's like a minute for it. So I was trying to farm the bottom succubus, and I was like, wait, this is stupid. So that lost a lot of time.
Yeah, Berix actually found the souls.
Oh, really?
They were
No farms at all?
they were both in chapel. I figured I would just look for them because I couldn't remember what a skull million is, and also I had full cleared the rest of the game besides top floor or besides
You
chapel, so I knew where it was.
I see.
Like, there's nowhere else this can be, so I may as well just go find them.
Yeah, Skull Millions are the Kainaza recolors in Arena.
Yep. And there's one right next to the teleporter. It's a little bit awkward to farm, but it's not too bad. Because I think the drop rate for Skull Million is decent, and I know that it's good for Succubus, because like that's you have to beat the game with it and all those. The Succubus and Flame Demon both have high soul drop chances.
Well, it is supposed to boost up the other enemy. Like if it's an enemy different from those, it's supposed to boost it up at least as high as Flame Demon or Succubus.
Yeah, I've heard that it's like proportional. Like if it's a really low percent chance, it gets boosted more, and if it's higher, then it's less of a boost. But yeah, that Nemesis farm in the first seed, I was shocked how long it took. It was like, how long was I there for? It felt like 4 minutes or something, just farming that Nemesis.
It took a while for both of you, but I don't think you had the best spot for it. There's one in Dance Hall next to the warp.
Yeah, I thought about that one, but I didn't know where Dance Hall was, and I figured it's probably better to just warp to quarters and farm it there since I have it already. But
Well, Dance Hall was next to the start in that seed, but there was no reason to go into it, was the thing.
oh,
Yeah, it was the
right.
kind of thing that I only remembered when I'm like, alright, where's the Nemesis to farm? Dance Hall. I know where Dance Hall is, and I have Bat.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Damn. Well, hopefully it seems like all the races we did were really close, so hopefully they were entertaining.
And,
I know
like,
they were really stressful on
time.
my end, but it was fun. I like
Yeah.
intense stuff like that.
It was a really fun watch, I gotta say.
Nice.
I'm mostly happy with how I played. There were a couple mistakes, mostly in the second seed,
Mhm.
which are obvious. And I'll watch back. Man, that second seed.
We both forgot we had slide.
I forgot I had
It's pretty
slide.
embarrassing.
And then later, I think I mentioned this in Twitch chat. I went into inner quarters, went to the left, fought the boss, saved, got Alistair, went into reservoir, realized I didn't have Skula, did the checks, reset, went to the right, realized that if Alistair's a book soul, I'm gonna want that. So I went back, grabbed Alistair, I went back out of inner quarters. I then went to the right of corridors, got Galamoth, went back through Dance Hall into inner quarters to do Galamoth to get Manticore, back through Dance Hall to corridors.
Clearly the optimal route. When you think about it.
Incredibly good routing.
No one has ever warped in the history of time.
Bro, there were no good warps. I had to go to Dance Hall to get the warp to inner quarters.
Ugh.
Ugh. Yeah, GG's.
Yep, GG's.
We get to see the grudge match of the century.
All right.
Are you looking forward to this one?
Yeah, my next match, my rematch against Jupiter, I believe, right, is next.
I believe so.
Yep.
Well, it should be fine. I mean, I beat him before, so
Exactly.
just do it again.
You've
How
never
hard can it
lost
be?
to Jupiter in this tournament.
Exactly.
You know, I think you're just gonna keep winning.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. He has started equipping Rare Ring, I noticed from watching his races recently, so my edge is gone, I think.
Yeah, it's getting more common.
It is. Rare Ring is the skill check. You gotta equip it. It is very good. get all kinds of stuff. Lots of healing, lots of weaponry.
All the things.
And
Anyway,
Berix's tournament is over, but maybe we can drag him into the commentary booth for that one.
Almost
Oh
certainly.
yeah, that'd be great.
Unless you schedule on a weekend, in which case not a chance in hell.
Well, thank you for commentating our race. I appreciate it. Glad it was a fun time. I am going to go pet my cat because he's wondering what's wrong with me being locked in my room.
Yes, please do.
I can't let him in because
I love cats.
he wants to jump on me while I'm racing, and that's distracting.
Oh, you should have let him in. Come on.
I can't do it. I have to perform.
All right, have a good night, Hal.
Yep. Good night, everyone.
Well, good night.
Thanks for the races. Thanks to Lunix for helping me out on tracking with these. Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks to SpeedGaming for hosting us. We'll be back with more matches in this tournament. We really are getting down to the wire. It's lower bracket finals coming to you soon. Winners bracket finals coming to you soon as well. Keep your eyes peeled to the SpeedGaming family of networks. And we'll see you in the next race.